Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case Notes File 1882, written by Gudwitmysoftlips. A quiet, nighttime riot. My son's unseen ice cream diet. This happened about 4 years ago, and I'm still so confused by the events of that night. I had just put my then 8-year-old son to bed. He has autism. When I remembered the tooth fairy had duty to attend that night, so I sat in my room waiting for him to fall asleep. The apartment was completely quiet other than the dryer running, and I heard a weird little bell noise like you hear on a kitten collar or something. I thought maybe something had fallen off the dryer, but no. I peeked at the stairs that led up to my kids' rooms, and the baby gate was still up on the stairs. For reference, this baby gate was loud. Anytime we took it down or put it up, it would creak loudly. Also, you really couldn't avoid banging it all over the walls in the small passage of the stairs. Even though I could see the gate was still up, I would have seen if anyone had walked down the stairs, as my bedroom door directly faces the bottom of the stairs, except off to the side. I decided I should go up and check on them anyway. Check my daughter's room, she's fine in bed sleeping. Check my son's room, and he's not there. On his bed is a carton of ice cream that is still very cold and fresh, not melted at all. The first thing I'm thinking is, he must have heard me coming and is hiding, because he thinks he's going to get in trouble for taking the ice cream. So I start calling for him. I check his closet thinking he is for sure in there. And when I don't see him, my heart starts racing. I check the bathroom, not there. I start running down the stairs, and I can see in the living room window, a neighbor walked him back to our apartment, which retrospectively thought, I don't know how they knew which apartment, because my son did not, and still doesn't have the speaking skills to be able to give that information. I ran out and grabbed him, no pants and all, and just began to weep in relief. I still cannot figure it out that night. It haunts me. There should have been no way I would have missed him walking down the stairs, especially with the loud gate and with our also very loud freezer. I should have heard him getting into the ice cream as well. The ice cream was so fresh looking, sat on his bed. I tried to ask him about it, but he's unable to tell me much. Case Notes File 1882. A quiet, nighttime riot. My son's unseen ice cream diet. Alright, there's some elements here that do stump me. I don't have a clear explanation for. The ice cream appearing? Well, you could say that's multiverse duplication, but that's only one part of the puzzle. Okay, so did your son de-render, go to a different universe, come back, but appeared outside the home, where he somehow communicated where he lived to this stranger, the neighbor? Seems unlikely. All that doesn't really fit together. Was it the tooth fairy that came to pay a visit? Doubt it. But hey, it's as good an explanation as I can give on this one. Case file number 1883, written by Healthy Will 139. Crane so tall, gone in a squall. A morning drive that baffles us all. A few months ago, May 2024, my family and I were driving home from a weekend out of town when something strange happened that neither one of us can explain. We've thought about it every day since. My husband was driving, my toddlers were in the middle row, facing forward car seats, and I was up front with my husband. It was a Monday morning around rush hour, and we were driving from Hilton Head back to Savannah. The traffic was a little thick, as you'd expect at this time, but it was a typical morning. As we were getting close to home, we pointed out to the kids that we could see part of the Savannah skyline and the big Talmadge Bridge. I remarked to my husband that it was strange that Waze said we still had 23 minutes to get to our home, because that seemed longer than it should have. I have driven the route many times, and at that point with typical morning traffic, it should only take about 10 to 12 minutes from where we were. Didn't think much of it. I just thought it was weird and chalked it up to traffic. A minute or two later, as we're getting closer to the bridge, there was a stretch of construction and roadwork going on both sides of the road. but primarily happening directly off the right lane. We slowed down by about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but the construction did not impede the flow of traffic by any means. There were 3 cranes ahead of us. They were the kind of cranes that are controlled from the bottom. I believe they are called crawlers. One of them was much bigger than the other 2. It was so big that I stopped mid-conversation with my husband to point it out to the girls. "Wow, girls, look at the big crane." To which they both responded, "Wow," or something like that. I remember them excitedly acknowledge that they saw it. I finished a sentence that I had been in the middle of to my husband, and then I directed my attention to the side mirror to get another eye shot of the crane. It wasn't there. My eyes immediately darted to the rearview mirror to see if I could see it there, and I noticed my husband looking a little confused also. "Where did it go?" I said, sort of panicky. I completely turned my body around to look out all of the windows, and it just wasn't there. I don't remember if the other 2 were there or not, but I know for a fact that the big one that we should have been passing was not. My husband, who is a very logical and composed individual, seemed equally as puzzled and said, "I don't see it. It should be right there. We should have passed it." I continued to stare through the side mirror as we drove over the bridge and into town. The rest of the drive was quiet, as I assumed we were both attempting to process what had just happened. That stretch of highway is flat, marshy, coastal plain area. There are no tall trees or buildings around where our view of the crane would have been to be obstructed by it. There is also no way that the crane could have been lowered to an almost flat position in the short span of time, especially without any of us witnessing it. There isn't a day that goes by that this doesn't get brought up between us. We've been considering every possibility imaginable, and we just can't explain it. Part of me wonders if noticing the time versus distance on Waze a few minutes earlier is also related, but that could have just been a coincidence. I kicked myself later for not thinking to check the time when we got home. I feel like we question everything now. Whatever happened has left an impression on both of us. It's not necessarily an unsettling feeling, but just kind of strange. Anywho, it weighs heavy on my curious mind every day. I figured I'd put it out there and see if anyone has ever experienced anything similar. Question to file 1883. Crane so tall, gone in a squall. A morning drive that baffles us all. Was the Waze device? Was that the clue that you were in a different universe? You say you didn't check the time afterwards, and I guess that would be the secondary clue that would have sealed this. So what I think happened is you were temporarily in a different universe with your whole family, the whole car was there, maybe related to a space-time portal that moved you over. And in this different version of reality, you saw these great cranes that when you ported back home were not there. But if you had checked the Waze when that happened, which is unclear when, it's all seamless, the time to get home would probably have been correct. In this other universe, there just was more traffic, which actually makes sense given there's an extra crane, more construction going on, maybe more buildings, more apartment complexes being made to facilitate providing for all the extra people that are contributing to the extra traffic. Fits pretty well there. Now time for the joke of the day. Just so everyone is clear, I'm going to put on my glasses. Now everyone is clear. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony, signing off.